Okay, as promised, in this video, I will go into all of the new abilities I have created for my two Fakemon regions, the Leweka Region and the Fyrún Region, which you can find here on my channel or on my Instagram account at Mykel_regions. I already did a video featuring most of the new moves I created for these regions, so now here's the follow-up video to show you all of these abilities, most of which, however, are signature abilities for certain Pokemon, but that is not the case for all of them. And once again, a lot of these abilities can be found in my future fan games, Pokémon Order and Pokémon Chaos, which are currently in development, so you'll be able to test them out for yourself there. If you like what you see in this video, please make sure to subscribe and go check out some of my other videos to see even more. Now, while all of the ideas featured in this video are 100% my own, I do commission an army of talented artists whom I work with throughout the creative process to bring all of my concepts and designs to life, and take you on an exciting journey through my imagination. So please make sure to go follow and support all of them as well. Their information will be provided down below in the description. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Blackout is a new signature ability learnt by my Leweka Region shared evolutions of Lunatone and Solrock known as Obelips, each resembling a lunar or solar eclipse, with a solar and lunar form depending on which Pokemon it evolved from. The ability literally eclipses the opponent's ability, neutralizing it. Invisibility is a new ability featured in both the Leweka Region and the Fyrún Region, which boosts evasion when the Pokemon's HP is low. As you can't hit what you can't see. It can be found in both the Grimlyre and the Elfay line, as both creatures they are inspired by are known to turn invisible in their folklore and mythology. Midnight is a dangerous new signature ability for Spiritomb's new evolution Phantom, which gives it full immunity to the fairy typing, basically restoring it to its previous glory before the fairy typing existed. Its name being a reference to the magic fading away as the clock strikes 12, or the light being swallowed in the dark of the night, as I had to give players some sort of incentive to use Phantom as Spiritomb evolution over Evolite Spiritomb, and I figured this ability would do exactly that. Next up is Bubble Face, which is a new signature ability for my Lewekan SQ, as it's now a water type, based on the Cape Penguins found in South Africa along the beaches, which is where this Pokemon is found. It works the exact same way as Ice Face, except instead of being destroyed by a physical attack, it has to be destroyed by a special attack. And it can be restored when it rains instead of hails. Nobody to Nemesis is a counterpart ability to Zero to Hero from the Palafin line, found exclusively to my Teethan and Jawful line, as it is a counterpart to Palafin, which I imagine it basically appearing just as one of the henchmen or goons, until switching out and basically revealing its master plan and itself to be the evil mastermind behind everything. Speaking of masterminds, the next ability is actually called Mastermind. Mastermind is a new counterpart for the Huge Power ability, which doubles the Pokemon's special attack stat, and can be found with one of my Pokemon known as Arcortex, but it could also probably be found with other Pokemon later on down the line. So I would not consider this a signature ability. Just like Huge Power, it could be accessed by various Pokemon. Mesmerize is another ability that can be used by various different Pokemon, not only in both of my Fakemon regions, but throughout the Pokemon world, as contact with the Pokemon has a chance of making the attacking Pokemon fall asleep, or become drowsy depending on what game it's featured in, and whether or not the sleep status or drowsy status is being used. Drum Solo is once again another signature ability for the Percushell and Tortempo line in the Leweka region, which turns sound-based moves into physical attacks. Speaking of sound-based moves, I made another ability to fully utilize them, known as Pitch Perfect, which I can imagine being learnt by several sound-based Pokemon, which basically gives sound-based moves priority, once again to make a rather weak or single-stage Pokemon actually viable. Swan Song is yet another sound-based ability, which boosts the Pokemon's sound-based attacks when its HP is low, as a Swan Song is like a singer or ballerina or performer going out in glory. Nourishment is a new ability which boosts the Pokemon's special defense stat after using a healing move. Possessed by two Grass-type Pokemon found in the Leweka region, the Nurse Seed or Aloviate line, inspired by Aloe Vera and Nurses, used by Nurse Joy, and the Stemus line, which is a new Convergent evolution for my Convergent Staryu line, which is Stemu and Stemmy, both found within the jungles of the Leweka region. inspired by the African Stapelia flower, also known as the starfish flower. Puppeteer is another new ability used by Marinsect, which makes the foe's stat changes have the opposite effect, which obviously can be a game changer, making this little guy go from pest to problem. Outbreak is a dangerous new ability which can spread the poison status amongst your opponent's team when switching out. Learned by a mosquito Pokemon in the Leweka region, as well as a new regional Ranunculus line coming up in my Legends Elamage project for an ancient Leweka region inspired by viruses. Soul Absorb is a new universal ability which restores HP if hit by a ghost move instead of taking damage. So basically it's like Volt Absorb or Water Absorb, but even more useful if you think about it, because ghost types are super effective against other ghost types, so this would essentially remove that weakness. And is an ability for a lot of my Leweka Pokemon especially, but once again can be found throughout various other regions, including my Fyrún region. Sonar is another new ability which can be found in various Pokemon throughout both my Fakemon regions and the real Pokemon world, where the Pokemon will automatically flee or switch itself out if the foe is about to use a super effective move. Obviously, this is pretty useful and even has the potential to be broken, which is why it will usually be a hidden ability and not super easy to access. I could also see this becoming the Noivern line's new hidden ability. Fisherman is a signature ability for the Anglewing and Roylure line based on the Kingfisher bird, which boosts the critical hit ratio against water-type Pokemon, as it's essentially fishing. Countdown is a signature ability for Sanduo, an Hourglass Pokemon I created, which is a Fairy Ground type, which helps it change form between its face-up and face-down form every turn. The face-up form is more defensive, whereas the angry face-down form is more offensive, as it's running out of time. Double Date is the signature ability of my Pokemon Kisseltoe, which doubles the special attack of the user if the opposing Pokemon is infatuated, which is not hard to do with Kisseltoe especially, because a lot of its moves, including a lot of the new moves I created, have a chance of causing the opponent to become infatuated. So this kind of makes the most of that and makes this otherwise weak or single-stage Pokemon viable, which I feel is usually the point for signature abilities, especially for single-stage Pokemon. And then there is the Stacked ability, which is the signature ability of the Palbal line in the Fyrún region, based on the Stone Karens in Iceland, which is essentially the same thing as Wishy-Washy's schooling form, as it stacks up when its HP is full to make a powerful golem-like form. Celsius is a new signature ability found within the Yotundra line, the Ice-type pseudo line of the Fyrún region, based on Frost Giant Ymir, which increases the odds of moves inflicting the Frostbite status by a staggering 30%, whereas the Fahrenheit ability is the signature ability of the other Fire pseudo line of the Fyrún region, the Magnarock line, inspired by Fire Giant Surtur, and Fahrenheit increases the chances of moves inflicting the Burn status by 30%. Tyrant is a new ability which is found exclusively through one of my starters, Colbra, as its hidden ability to help level the playing field, as the other two starters have an advantage against it, so it makes its greatest weakness its greatest strength, which is why it was given this ability, and a lot of starter Pokemon have broken hidden abilities, usually at least one each generation, so it kind of fits in line with that as well. Voltage is basically an Overgrow, Torrent, or Blaze equivalent for electric types, which once again would be universal to a bunch of Pokemon. But it can be found in the Leweka Region's Thunda line, as it almost acts as an unofficial electric-type starter within the region. The next three abilities actually work in the exact same way, but for the Psychic, Dark, and Fighting typing, as they were created for my own Pan-Elemental Monkey Trio in the Leweka region, which are basically equivalents once again to the Overgrow, Torrent, and Blaze abilities, because those are the hidden abilities of the original Elemental Pan trio, so I wanted the hidden abilities of these ones to match that. So the Pan Sight and Semi-Sight line has Clairvoyance, the Pan Strike and Semi-Strike line has Contender, and the Pan Shade and Semi-Shade line has Calamitous. Also, the Kanto starters have new rebirth forms in the Leweka region, with new souped up versions of the Overgrow, Blaze, and Torrent abilities, which not only powers up their moves without their HP having to be low, but if their HP is low, it allows them to use the powerful moves Frenzy Plant, Blast Burn, and Hydro Cannon without having to recharge as long as their HP is low. And then Rebirth Mewtwo has a similar ability, Brainiac, for the Psychic typing, and it can even learn a new signature attack, Psychic Overload, which works the same way as these powerful moves, and would normally require a Mewtwo to recharge. Well, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it, just because it's so different from my normal content. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below to let me know which of these abilities I created is your favorite. And of course, make sure to subscribe to my channel for even more Fakemon content, as I have a lot of exciting projects in the works that you cannot find anywhere else. I especially recommend checking out the Fyrún Saga Supercut video, as it has the entire Fyrún Saga in one video, just in time for you to catch up or refresh for the brand new DLCs I plan to drop in the next week or so. So please stay tuned for that.